Hello everyone. Today, we Group 1 will presentation to you about Toshiba accounting scandal. The member of the group is Audrey Kalyanesha Nuranbia, Ahmad Farhan, Rahma Adelia, Septian Barik Akmal, and the last one is Yulia Sabrina. Next please.
Next, the brief history of Toshiba. Toshiba is a high-tech electronic manufacturing company headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. Founded in 1939, the Toshiba Company was the result of a merger of two companies. Tokyo Denki, a company operating in the consumer goods sector, and the Shiba Urasei Sakusho, a machinery company. Toshiba grew stronger through the internal growth and through the acquisition of heavy equipment engineering companies and primary industrial companies in the 1940s and 1950s. And then in the 1970s and onwards, subsidiary companies began to be established, namely Toshiba Lighting and Technology Group 1989, Toshiba Career Corporation 1999, Toshiba Elevator Building System Corp 2001, Toshiba Solution Corp 2003, Toshiba Medical System Corp 2003, and Toshiba Material 2003. Toshiba is in the top 5. The company produces the most income as a producer semiconductor. Here's the several Toshiba production. Toshiba produces high-tech electronics for households, office, and hospitals. In this case, we will discuss about fraud of Toshiba and how did they fraud, and then why did they fraud, loss of that fraud, and then how Toshiba regains market trust.
The fraud of Toshiba. On July 21, 2015, Toshiba CEO Hisao Tanaka announced his resignation in the face of an accounting scandal tied to about $1.2 billion in overstated operating profits. Details of the scandal emerged the day before when an independent investigative panel released a report describing the accounting improprieties in detail. Next, findings of investigative report. Investigators found direct evidence of inappropriate accounting practice and overstated profits in multiple Toshiba business units, including the Visual Products Unit, the PC Unit, and the Semiconductor Unit. The accounting misconduct began under the CEO Atsutoshi Nishida in 2008 amid a global financial crisis that cut deeply into Toshiba's profitability. It's continued and embedded under the next CEO Norio Sasaki and eventually ended in scandal under Tanaka. So, how did they fraud? Independent panel of auditors and investigators found that in Toshiba International the following illegals and unethical things were occurring. First, booking future profits early. Second, pushing back losses. Third, pushing back charges. And the last, changing revenue and liabilities side by side.
Booking future profits early. It is the act of putting revenue onto the books before it is actually earned. This inflates net profit and artificially creates the illusion of improved revenue and profits. Pushing back losses. The expense of 1 year is being settled in the income statement of previous year, instead of the fiscal year in which it is accrued to show the profit of the organization, which will directly attract the investor. Pushing back charge. A billing made to collect an expense incurred in a previous billing period. A back charge may be an adjustment due to an error, or it may be to collect an expense that was not billable until a later period due to timing issue. When possible, it is best to avoid having to back charge for product or services, because back charge may be unexpected by customers and can be confused with billing errors. They often take longer to collect. In general, the more promptly company can bill a customer, the higher the probability of collecting the amount billed in a timely manner.
Okay, now we will talk about changing revenue and liabilities side by side. In this technique, the unearned revenue is converted into revenue earned. Why did they fraud? Investigator describe how Toshiba corporate leadership handed down strict profit target, now as challenges to business unit president, often with the implication that failure would not be accepted. In some cases, quarterly challenges were handed down near the end of the quarter when there was no time left to materially affect unit performance. It soon became clear with individual business units that the only way to achieve these challenges was to do so through the use of irregular accounting technique. Advanced, the investigative panel concluded that Toshiba corporate culture, which demanded obedience to superior, was an important factor enabling the emergence of fraudulent accounting practice. The culture operated on the level of business unit president and on every level of authority down the chain to the accountant who ultimately employed the accounting technique. Next, please.
Now we got a presentation about the losses of the fraud that done by Toshiba. First point is Toshiba, a pillar of Japan's industrial establishment, is expecting a huge loss of about 710 billion yen or 6.4 billion US dollar or 4.4 billion pound sterling for the year to March, with declining global demand exacerbating financial woes. And next point is Toshiba took total job losses to 14,000 in 2015. And then sales in US declined about 45%. And the last point is Japan's economy was also affected. Then, how Toshiba regains market trust? The answer is Toshiba replaced its top management after the scandal, and they are changing their culture. Then they are paying the challenge to different organizations. And then Toshiba has made an independent audit section in their organization. And then CSR development team is also developed. Alright, that's everything I want to say about our person today. Thank you for your attention. And then we have some questions to you guys. You guys can answer it in comment section below. The first question is, independent investigators found that Toshiba had been overstayed its profit. Can you explain how Toshiba did that? And the second question is, why did they fraud? And the third question is, in one of the four illegal things Toshiba do, there is pushing back charge. Why is it best to avoid having to back charge for product or services? And the last question is, can you guys explain what is the effect of that fraud on Toshiba around the world? Okay, that's all for the questions. You guys can answer it in comment section below. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.